I can see you guys. It's all good.
All right.
I'm president of Collinwood for YouTube, Joel Saints, joined by my buddy Gordon Dymowski, my buddy Patrick McCray. We're here to do Dark Shadows episode 794, narrated by Thayer David, written by Gordon Russell, directed by Leela Swift. This is the debut of Julianka, guys, and she doesn't last too terribly long. This is part of the prophecy or foretelling of they would find a bullet. The person who could help Quentin the most would die, which is Julianka. So she's going to end up getting killed, not in this episode, but very, very soon.
She has such a lovely speaking voice too.
She does. She does. What did you guys make of the character?
In some ways, pretty realistic. I mean, she is very brass tacks. She doesn't waste a lot of time on a lot of frivolous dialogue. I can or I can't. Who are you? What do you want?
Yeah,
She's
I
got
think
very
she. Yeah, I think
Dr.
I.
Dave mixed with Jack Webb.
Yeah, I think she even says something to the effect of, "You're not gonna. I'm not gonna be here long enough for you to like me."
She does too. She says that to Aristide, of all people. Aristide's actually he's flirting with her. Yeah, she's a beautiful woman, but Ben Gibbons slash Count Patofe, like he tells Aristide about her, and so he starts trying to hang around her and flirt with her at the Eagle, and then later he shows her where the old house is, and Barnabas is waiting in the old house. He's waiting in the darkness,
Yeah,
and
he's waiting in the old house.
yeah, he's waiting.
That like Aristide says, "Oh, I'll be waiting for you at the Blue Whale or at the old whatever it is," and I just wanted to say, for what?
Someone should tell Aristide that Paco Rabanne is a cologne. It's not an alcoholic beverage.
It's not a lifestyle. Taco, but that's it.
If Aristide wouldn't have been aligned with Patif, what do you think his odds are with Julianka?
I
Slim
don't
to
think his
none.
odds, yeah, I don't think his odds really depend on the existence of his significant other, Count Patofi. I just think there are certain fundamental differences of taste and vision.
Yeah, I think Julianka has too much self-esteem to hang out with Aristide at all, much less Aristide with Patofi. Patofi's not the deal breaker. Aristide is a solid no.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I noticed when I went back and watched this episode that Julianka was packing a knife, and she's looking for Magda Ricose. Is she planning on? Was she planning on kill? At first, I thought she was planning on killing Magda, but no.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
No, she's not. She's not. She's there to Well, I guess Magda did steal the hand, so
Yeah,
she wants to get that back.
yeah. That's sort of her That's the bargaining chip in this episode too. We have Gibbons and Aristide looking for the hand, but so is Julianka. And her agreement is okay. If you get the hand back, so I could take it back, I will cure Quentin Collins. I will help cure Quentin Collins, remove the curse of the werewolf. Um, so that's the plan here in this episode. That's sort of, and Barnabas goes, "I'll do my best to get it back." He's gonna. Laura Parker in this episode is just a lot of fun, by the way.
She is. She is because
Mhm.
she's a little out of her element for one of the few times. And Barnabas even gives her a hard time about it. Well, what made you think you'd be able to control the hand and deal with this whole werewolf thing? But also, you have the great scene of Patofi dealing with the werewolf.
Yeah.
And just he's completely calm. There's a great understanding between them. It's like a union guy showing his card.
Do you think one day? I know we get told the story of Patofe being a werewolf. Do you think we'll ever get a Patofe origin story?
Well, we did get it in the text of within the show. I'm like,
Uh,
we don't need a whole episode about young Patofi, going off on adventures and you know I think knowing
Well,
Patofi was a werewolf, he got his hand cut off. There you go.
Now that's okay. That's true. Would you enjoy seeing such a tale?
No, I'd rather see adult Patofi do like evil guy stuff and just be Patofi.
But what if it were like Thayer David dressed up like Buster Brown?
I,
Who would
you
have
know what
paid?
I would pay to see? I'd pay good money to see Thayer David smack around Michael Stroka as Aristide.
I think we all would.
I would pay cash money for that.
Stroka, he's a midnight Stroka.
What you guys?
I would pay, especially if it ended with Count Patofi grabbing a metal folding chair and just whacking Aristide with it.
You know, here's the thing. You know that Aristide is no threat because his his hair pouch is not fully inflated yet to intimidate the other henchmen. You know.
What's you
Like,
guys' favorite Michael Stroker role in Dark Shadows?
Whatever the last one is, I mean, they're all the same character.
Yeah,
There's
I would
not
just have to say Bruno in 1970s parallel time because his hair is just perfect, like a werewolf at Trader Vic's.
It's the highest. It's like he's blown into his thumb.
Yeah, I mean it's perfectly sculpted.
And by the way, much like Jeffrey Scott, Michael Stroka's hair, in the case of a water landing, can be used as a flotation device. As all of Jeffrey Scott.
Yeah. I will say I'm with you guys on the Bruno, but there's some I really enjoyed him as Aristide. He looked like he was in his element as the character for sure. Him
Well,
and
was Aristide his first ever role on Dark Shadows?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't there long enough to get bitter and jaded. That's why.
That's true.
You know, he's like, okay, look, yeah, if I stay here for 6 months, for 6 more weeks, I'll get an increase in pay. And wait, no raise. You know, so yeah, it's a, you know what, screw this. Let the hair do the acting.
And he wasn't around really he didn't show up for 1841 parallel time.
No, he didn't.
Stroka was out of the.
Yeah, he was done after the parallel time story arc. He was out of there after that. But with this, he's
40.
What's that?
Laszlo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's Laszlo in 1840.
Who is basically Aristide.
Yeah, Laszlo was his clock watching gig. It was like, okay, how many days do I have? Okay, yeah. Okay. That paycheck ain't gonna earn itself.
A judge had ordered him to appear on so many episodes of Dark Shadow. Or had ordered Dan Curtis to hire him for so many episodes of Dark Shadows, and that was it.
Dan and his golf clubs.
I would have loved to see Michael Stroka as a member of the Collins family. Just me.
Onan.
No.
What's that?
Onan Collins.
Maybe.
Poochie Collins from Detroit.
Poochie Collins.
Oh my god.
Michael Wise.
We do get Grayson Hall in this episode as Magda a bit. Also, I really do like how they introduced Julianka too. Inside the Eagle, her walking in, you don't see her real clearly right away, which I love. It adds a layer of mystery to the character. And you see Victor Van Givens / Patofe be scared of somebody for once. And that was sort of shocking. What did you guys think of that?
I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great. Hey, here's some trivia. What's a movie that Jerry Lacey and Diane Vila both appear in? You don't have a lot of choices.
Play it again, Sam.
Play it again, Sam. She is, I believe, one of Woody's dates at an art gallery.
I've never seen it.
It's a good movie. Oh, it's a good movie. It's a good Jerry Lacey movie.
I'll have to check it out. I know he's played Humphrey Bogart / roles. I mean, I know that.
He played Bogart in this.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. I know it's been on TCM before.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
So
Here, let me see if it's available anywhere streaming, preferably for free. Hey, I'm cheap, so it's on YouTube and Apple and.
It was one of Woody's first movies, and
hey,
Catherine was in probably one of his last movies. So Rainy Day in New York, and so it sort of bookends Woody Allen with Dark Shadows.
we get the werewolf. We do get the werewolf change in this. We also see Quentin running around as the werewolf, and like you talked about, you see Victor Van Given / Calpatofe not afraid of it because he's been the werewolf. He seems to tames the werewolf. Even how shocking was this when you first saw it?
Shocking. I don't know if it was. I mean, I don't know if I was shocked in any way. I was amused and pleased. What am I, a clown? Do I amuse you? Yeah, I was. Yeah, I mean, Diana Davila's beauty certainly is always going to take my breath away. Easily one of the most beautiful women to ever be on the program.
Yeah. What about you, Gordon?
I was too busy looking at Diana Davila to actually register the werewolf. It was it was between her and my history homework at the time. So
she is a pretty lady, but I was shocked. Speaking as somebody who watched it when I watched it for the first time, and even when I went back and watched it now, it's still shocking because.
What were you shocked by? I mean, did you collect?
Okay, well, let me put it in this context. Okay, up until this point, we've seen the werewolf just run through everybody like the Ultimate Warrior running through opponents. Okay, I mean he clawed through everybody. He jumps through windows. We've seen him just wreck people's bodies, and he was like getting ready to like wreck Aristide. And all of a sudden, you see this guy, like Victor Van Givens. We don't know he's Patofi at the time. Tame the werewolf a bit, and that to me was like, okay, there's something about. You knew there might be something about him, but this is sort of the episode you're going, okay, there's definitely something special about him.
Maybe it's just something as simple as Alex Stevens was having an off day and chose to kind of cool out when he saw Thayer. He's like, you know what, it's not working for me. I'll put up with Dan's complaints, okay, but
maybe the werewolf just wanted to be heard and understood, and not screamed at. And
yeah. This werewolf bias it has me concerned, Joel. It really has me concerned. It feels like you're very anti-werewolf.
Not at all.
I mean,
profiling.
How do you profile a werewolf?
Well, you just.
Oh, you're demonstrating that right now, Joel. Joel, I'm going to recommend you go find a book called The Wolf's Hour by Robert S. McCammon. It's about a Russian guy who's bitten by a werewolf, and he fights Nazis in World War II for the British. I think you should read that book.
There's a book called Wolf Like Me, where someone dresses up as a werewolf and goes through everyday life to see, how rough it is to be a werewolf, and it is.
Yeah. So some of my best friends are werewolves, Joel.
Oh God.
They're in 12-step groups called Werewolves Anonymous.
I support werewolf pride.
And the thing is, Joel, several episodes ago, we were talking about how Irwin Allen would throw werewolves into Voyage at the Bottom of the Sea to boost ratings and improve the storytelling. And you were all, oh, yeah, I agree. What is this, Joel? What are you trying to tell us? What are you trying to tell the good people watching us on YouTube? What are you saying? What are you really saying?
I never met a werewolf that didn't deserve a silver bullet. I mean, what?
Do you know who else? Do you know who else uses werewolves in his writing? I'll give you a hint. He's in this Skype room with us, and his name rhymes with Patrick McCray.
Well,
So you explain to me what's the deal? What's the deal?
well,
Seriously,
I've
Jewel, talk to
I've
me.
written a werewolf story before. I'm writing one again now. So I mean, I like werewolves. I think they're a lot of fun too, right? I mean, there's no you don't get bored writing a werewolf story.
You don't. There's a lot of interesting stuff with werewolves. You know,
Yeah, but go ahead, Patrick.
I know I was once asked about werewolves, and I gave a very scholarly answer, and I was laughed at, Jewel.
Yeah, and I also apologize for my contribution, Patrick.
With what? Oh, well, by you. No, not by you. Not that.
Okay, but Jewel, I think you should also there's a writing seminar group of writing courses called Writing the Other, and they have a course specifically in writing werewolves, and I think you should consider taking that.
I'm good. I'll be
Now,
all right.
all seriousness aside, the werewolves are pretty interesting. You know, I mean, for me, especially in the context of Dark Shadows, I mean, there's a word I can't remember. I'm not remembering that has to do with a group sort of substituting for another group in literature or in art to get away with something. So, you know, on Dark Shadows, gypsies and witches and so on, and specific individuals, I think, are substituting um, for blacks. If you look at the way, you know, Angelique from Martinique and all of that, I think is largely treated the way uh, a, 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 a black person would have been treated at that time. I think the gypsies and all of the fear of that are, you know, potentially a kind of substitute. They're a coded substitute. There's a lot of sort of white Anglo-Saxon fear of the other that's going on. And, you know, with Quentin, this is more about, you know, I think the werewolf is kind of a you know, symbolic of Eastern Europeans, of 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 Jews, of people from the Mediterranean, and the idea that they are somehow making our blood impure or whatever. I mean, I really feel like that's kind of the story that's going on under this. I think it is a way to talk about that WASP privileged fear of the other.
Yeah. I think too another I always felt that my favorite werewolf franchise, The Howling, sort of got into very animalistic behavior by a werewolf. It didn't feel like it was about the full moon. They were very narcissistic, a lot of them, but not all of them. There were different types of the werewolves had different personalities. And I like that aspect because you don't see that a whole bunch. Where if you saw werewolves, it was either A, they were changed by the full moon, B, they had no control over their change, and C, once they changed, that was it. Whereas in the Howling, it was something a whole. It felt like something a whole different breed, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I enjoy
Well,
the classic werewolf though too. The Wolfman is a fun movie, by the way.
the challenge with werewolves as characters
Yeah.
is
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, once you transform, you know, they kind of just go around sort of indiscriminately killing things. You know, there's rarely a lot of plan. There's not a lot of calculation. If you're dealing with the werewolf, there's, you know, there's no room for dialogue or negotiation or something. I mean, and sometimes things like that, I think, really make a villain interesting. And so, you know, werewolf. The challenge with a lot of werewolf movies is that you're dealing with, oh my God, what did I do last night? And that's only so interesting, when you have a character who spends all their time dreading being this thing, and you want to see them become this thing, and then once they become that thing, you're sort of like, okay, yeah, I get it. And you just want them to turn human again. They are tough to write. I came up with an idea for how to present a werewolf, I think, in a really interesting way. The moon doesn't go away. It's just what we're seeing of it. And my idea is that if you're dealing with how many days is the lunar cycle? Really, let's pretend it's a month. Okay, I know it's not exactly a month, but let's pretend it's a month. So pretty much, and it's only full one day, right? So like fully full. So on that day, the person who's the werewolf is completely the werewolf during the full moon. They have no sense of anything. They're just nuts. And then on the day of no moon, they're completely human at night. But then it's closer and closer at night, more and more looping, more and more wolf-like, and that that at first it's just, they're a little more assertive. They have kind of more feral tendencies, but they can still appear in. It's about 2 weeks in that they start to have to spend most of the evening that they become more and more dangerous, and that's the cycle. So they're always, with the exception of one night out of the month, they're always transforming a little bit, or transforming back to human a little bit. That was my idea.
You're not far off. It's actually every 29 days.
Well, the story idea, okay, every 29, but you get what I mean.
Right.
I see that story. That to me is a unique way of presenting these creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's more, it has nothing to do with the moon. It has to do with these werewolves who wear human skin the way we wear clothes. Like they look human, but they can go out of that human form at any time they damn well want. There's only
that's a Leatherfacian kind of idea.
In fairness to Jewel, part of a lot of, I think, Eastern European werewolf lore, the way you turn into a werewolf is you wear a belt of wolf skin around your waist.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. You ever see Dog Soldiers?
Oh yeah, is that the one where the army guys they're dealing with werewolves?
Yeah.
It's British.
Yeah.
That is a great movie.
It is. It's free on Tubi, I believe.
Yeah, I saw it years ago. So
fun movie.
It's one of those movies we should talk about.
Yeah, it is.
I've never seen it.
It's a great movie. You'll enjoy it.
Is there one with the waggly tail?
Well, now what do you think of Stephen King's Silver Bullet? I know we're getting off topic, but
it's werewolves. I saw the movie once. It was okay.
Yeah.
I never had the urge to see it again. For me, werewolves largely in movies have become or were always an excuse to see Jack Pierce's makeup and just see how do they execute this creature. How do they pull it off?
Yeah.
My taste for werewolves is the Jack Pierce, Dark Shadows style of biped, largely a human, a hairy human with a dog face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I opt for the American Werewolf in London version.
That's
where
cool.
it shows it's not just the guy who randomly becomes a werewolf, but the transformation, it is painful. You hear bones cracking and stretching, and he has the, I can't remember what I did the night before, but he realizes, oh crap, something went down.
Yeah.
What do you think? Ryan Gosling is going to be in the new Wolfman movie. What do you think?
He's
As a victim,
No, as the werewolf.
you know, they already did a decent Wolfman remake with Benicio del Toro. That's the better of the two. Ryan Gosling, no, just no. Do we really need a pretty werewolf? No, we don't.
Are you saying Lon Chaney Jr. was not a pretty boy?
Well, when I talk about Ryan Gosling as pretty, I'm using air quotes. Lon Chaney is a very handsome man, but he's not pretty.
I just want to die. That's basically his only line in those movies. Just want to die. I'm Claude Rains' son. I can't believe that. Oh. Poor Lon. He's picking up a check.
Claude Rains.
Happy's not.
I love that Claude Rains is in two of the Universal monster movies, Wolfman and The Invisible Man. Great actor.
You know, Oliver Reed was in a werewolf movie, Hammer's Curse of the Werewolf. Yeah. And it's pretty darn good.
It is good. It is good.
Cool. Is there anything you guys want to add about this episode?
It's a good one. Yeah,
yep.
We've covered the highlights of it, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
We have the host forgot, but how's tomorrow, guys?
It's another day.
Gordon?
What do you have in mind?
Well, it's Gordon's turn to pick.
Oh, it's my turn to pick?
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to figure out a way to tell Patrick, but not you, just to make it interesting. Because at least Patrick and I will be able to have it, and it'll be just fun to watch Jewel go, oh, okay. You know what? It's simple. 7:39.
Okay. 7:39 it is. So let it be done.
How's 9:45 good for both you guys?
It is juicy and
tender.
yes.
Can you join us for Bad Santa on Tuesday night, Gordon?
I've never seen Bad Santa.
It's a good movie.
And let me check to see where it's available on.
Is that ever doing that?
It's free to watch on Pluto TV. Sure, I'll join you.
Okay.
You won't regret it. It's very good.
Yeah, that one will be at 10 p.m. if that's okay.
So tomorrow we're doing 7:39.
Yes.
Tuesday we're doing Bad Santa.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. So thank you guys for putting up with me for tonight. Sorry about the lack of communication. Links to Gordon Dymowski's Amazon page is going to be in the description box. Link to Patrick McCray's The Dark Shadows Day Book About is going to be in the description box. Go pick it up if you have it. And remember, if you see a werewolf, just remember they deserve a silver bullet. You have a good night, guys.
Oh, how specious. No, Joel, no. No, that's just wrong.
By that you mean,
ladies and gentlemen, Joel will not admit this, but he's half werewolf on his mother's side.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Somewhere in there, that's true, I'm sure.
Don't get him near a fire hydrant.
You guys have a good night. Take care.
Good night.
Bye.